Hi and welcome back. I'm Carly from Soundsight Studios. It's March, it's springtime, the sun is out and birds are chirping. We're all ready to get back out there in the world. So let's do a reading to support you in your career, your relationships, and your self-care. Let's go. We'll begin with a couple of shuffles. While I'm doing this, let's take a deep breath to center ourselves. Exhale fully. Then mentally, let's set the intention that we may see things as they are and not as we want them to be. I'll cut the deck in two. Our first reading is related to career. So we're going to look at what skills can you utilize this month? What challenges to look for, because experiencing challenge is how we gain new skills or refine and improve our skills. How to help others, and how to let others help us. Last but not least, what to be open to in the career world this month that may help us. All right, starting first on this far left side, what skills to utilize. Your understanding of emotional anguish, despair, frustration. Perhaps this is an important time to make space for emotions. The Three of Swords is a card that represents having an emotional storm, but it's also made worse by our thoughts. It's one thing to experience emotional pain, but it's another when your mind keeps bringing up these memories or making you feel guilty about something. So the advice from this card as it relates to work and your skills is that we want you to make space for other people being upset at the office. Because if one person comes in flustered, angry, upset, if they've gone through a hard time, it's going to impact the environment for everyone else. And this might be an opportunity to talk to that person one-on-one and help them compartmentalize how they're feeling, or help them feel validated and seen, and then they can set that part of themselves aside. It could also be an encouragement to come prepared to deal with this and not let it impact you and take you by surprise if you're being really emotionally vulnerable that day. So it could just be a great month to be more sensitive and aware of other people's emotions. Let's look at what challenges to embrace. Well, we are keeping right on with this emotional theme. Instead of swords being the cause here, which represent our thoughts and our intellect, our Queen of Cups is about being more intuitive, more connected to the subconscious, and more in flow with emotions. I often call this the card of the artist because the character acts almost like a channel. What I would recommend is in the workplace, be more sensitive. Look somebody in the eyes. Actively try to empathize with their situation. I know that these soft skills are not often encouraged at the office because it can be really distracting, but we've had a pretty tough year so far, and I think this is a sensitivity that might be really beneficial and allow you to get the most out of your coworkers and be more in tune with what your relationships, how your relationships are feeling, and what the needs are of people around you in order for you to work together copacetically. Let's look at how you can help others. The Three of Pentacles is known as the card of the master. This is somebody who's very good at what they do. Each of these three characters is great at their unique job. So I would recommend to give lots of praise to others. This might be a month to really approve of them. Give them validation, give them support. If you see something that they've done well, let them know. Because it's possible that in their own heads, they're only thinking about what has been going poorly, what they've done wrong, what they're scared about in the future. And if you can bring their awareness to the things they're doing well and give them that positive affirmation, creating a more positive spiral in their mind, you may help them more than you can even anticipate. How to let others help you. Our Page of Swords. This refers to an individual that has an active mind, somebody who's ready to try new things, kind of quick to change their mind and adapt as necessary. They're intellectually nimble. So I would recommend, if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling unanchored, unrooted, ask other people to give you some new ideas. If you have a lot of different ideas and don't know which one to choose, ask someone to help you whittle down what a great priority would be. So open up space for that intellectual influence. And we say that because the character has 1 foot flat on the ground, 1 foot lifted. She's ready to flip and switch the direction she's looking. Allow other people to hear what you're thinking about, hear what you're confused about, and let them give you guidance so you can be focused on something that you can get done and feel proud of. Your mind may be really active this month, and sometimes when it's really active, we can't even guide ourselves efficiently because we're just pulled in too many different directions. Let other people give you that guidance. If you're already feeling overwhelmed with options, maybe somebody can even help calm you down, and then you'll kind of feel more anchored and you'll know what you need to do next. So those would be my 2 pieces of guidance, just depending on what you feel you need most in a situation. Lastly, what to keep in mind in order to be successful this month. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the card of being a dreamer and a visionary. The character is moving forward on their horse, holding their heart in front of them. The guidance here is to not sell yourself short. Let yourself dream. Maybe being Delulu is the Salulu. Let yourself see things that don't exist yet. It might seem crazy. You might seem silly. But if you don't have this belief, if you don't have this vision, who else will? You need to trust that part of your heart, that part of your creativity, and that intuition. See what it's helping you visualize, because it's only once you have that vision, you can manifest it and make it real. I know it might sound crazy, but it's those crazy things that pay off the most when you manifest them and make them real. So let's do it this month. Have a great month in your career. I'm cheering for you, and I'll be back next month with an update. Let's reshuffle the deck and get ready for a reading about self-care and self-investment this month so that you can grow and be your best self possible in March. Ooh, that was interesting. I'm going to put this one on top. All right. We're going to look at how to take care of yourself, what to invest in yourself, and then 3 pieces of advice. Let's go. One way that you can take care of yourself this month. The 8 of Pentacles is known as the card of the apprentice. It's a card of somebody who is working away at their skill set, improving it, and just hammering away, trying to get better at what it is that they do. So the advice from the 8 of Pentacles is to let yourself be focused on what you're trying to build, trusting that the skills that you're improving on will pay off. Knowledge is the one thing that you can never lose. When you gain a skill like riding a bike, you may not use it all the time, but you'll still know how to do it. So even if your living situation changes or the people around you leave, you still have that knowledge within you. Any skill that you build and knowledge you gain will last a lifetime. This month, focus on enriching that part of you. What to invest in? The Wheel of Fortune is a card about being willing to go with the flow. The Wheel of Fortune is a famously confusing card, and that's not by accident. It's meant to be cryptic, chaotic, and confusing, just like life itself. Sometimes we can't really see the path forward. We don't understand where we're going, and as much as we try to control things, we actually just create more rigidity and more frustration in trying to control things that are happening that we don't actually have control over. Surrender. Notice where life is trying to take you. follow it. Don't hold on to what's been familiar. Don't hold on to the expectation that you had. This might be a time to surrender and just let the current take you where you need to go. Take the path of least resistance this month and see what happens. 3 pieces of advice to help you while you're on that river, surrendering control. We just saw this card in our career reading, so I like this. Be flexible. You may have a plan, but once you're in motion, be adaptable to new ideas and deviations to that original plan. Planning is essential, but plans are useless. So stay flexible in your route and be open to new ideas and new messages and new possibilities that could occur along the way. Don't get too stuck in how you thought things needed to be. The King of Cups is advice number 2. The King of Cups is what I call the card of the therapist. This person knows how to manage their own emotions, and when necessary, they can help other people manage theirs. Everything you've been learning in the last couple years about your emotional stability and emotional needs, use it this month. Take care of yourself. Know when to soothe yourself, when to be compassionate, when to challenge yourself and push. The King of Cups is that gentle but firm guidance to use your emotions as signals, but to not let your emotions take over and make decisions for you. It's a very delicate balance, but the presence of the King of Cups could suggest that you've been doing the work in order to have this benefit. Test it out this month. Listen to your emotions, work with them, but remember that they are not going to make decisions for you. You're going to make a decision from a more holistic space using your intellect, your intuition or your gut instinct, and your emotions. And advice number 3 for March, the Magician. The abundance of these flowers in the environment are an encouragement that the resources you need are around you. This character is clever enough to MacGyver a solution with all the resources around her. It may not be the same recipe that she saw another person use. It may not be what she expected she would have, but she's able to see what is available to her and make the most of it with a unique solution. This month, have a can-do attitude. That is paramount to success. Know that you can always find a solution if you decide to get crafty enough and creative enough with it. It may not look like the same solution anyone else has done, but that is what innovation is. It's a new idea, and you're going to have a solution or answer that perfectly matches the unique challenge that you're being faced with. And so the stranger of a situation you find yourself in, or the more complex it is, get excited. Because the more interesting your solution can be, the more varied your resources are, and the more personalized that outcome will be to match what you are desiring and wanting and what's in your best interest. Instead of being frustrated and throwing a fit that you don't have what you think you need, recognize that you have the right supplies to get you through this situation and use that to your advantage. Everything is figure-outable this month. Let's reset our deck with a few shuffles and get ready for relationships. This is called the Riffle Shuffle. If you want to learn how to do it, I just shot a video on how to shuffle your tarot deck. Check it out at the link here. Once we do 2 or 3 of those, we're good to go, ready for a cut. Now, when we're working with relationships, you can choose what you're applying this to, whether it's romantic or familial and more friendships. That choice is all yours. This will apply to all those types of relationships. We are going to look at how to approach the topic of relationships this month. How to take accountability for your own healing. What type of people to look for in terms of expanding your social group and maybe who to spend more time with. What to give to others. And lastly, what to be open to. This is that Wheel of Fortune advice from our first spread coming through with just that position alone. So let's dive in. How to approach relationships this month. Look at those 5 cups. 3 are spilled and 2 are upright. This is a card about taking time for emotional processing. In our dreams, relationships always feel good. But the best relationships feel good because we've been willing to go through the hard times with people. We've been willing to show vulnerability or show the challenges that we face. So our 5 of Cups could be a reminder this month to embrace the uncomfortable feelings, the sadness, the grief, and share that with others, or share in their grief if they need support in that space. But still leave yourself open to acknowledge the joy in your life and the beautiful things that are still present. The overall advice this month for how to approach relationships is to be realistic. They're not always easy, they're not always sunshine. Sometimes we need to make space for people who are having a really tough time, and we can't put a word limit on how much they want to talk about that. We just need to be present and let them express what they need to share for them to process what's going on. If you're the person who's going through the tough time, let your friends be there for you. Reach out and say, I need to talk about this. Or say, I've been holding this inside, and now I need to share it. Make sure that you reach out when that's necessary for you. How to be accountable for your own healing. The 7 of Pentacles is a card about, well, in a way, patience. But it's also about looking back and deciding what has been worth your investment in the past. This card reminds you to not make the same mistake twice. If you learned a lesson, make sure that you only have to learn that once. Don't get a second helping. The 7 of Pentacles encourages you to look back at all the data you've gathered from the past, the things you've tried, the results you got, and the information that gave you. Trust it. Maybe remind yourself of it. If you keep journals, this could be an encouragement to read through some of those journals and connect to that old self and see how far you've come. What knowledge have you gained? What has been worth your time, your investment, your energy? When it comes to healing, there's always something to work on. This card encourages us to look at the lessons that we've learned in the past to help us move forward more efficiently and resourcefully. What type of people to surround yourself with this month? Individuals who know what it's like to go through a metamorphosis and a transformation. If you tend to surround yourself with friends who feel shallow, who don't like to have deep conversations about the challenging moments in their life, the moments of rebirth, renaissance, the moments that felt like a death of their identity, then those friends might not be very helpful to you. Maybe you're ready to process a change that you're experiencing or a change that you want to initiate. And you want to be around other people that have had the courage to take similar risks and go that far. That's going to be where you find the support from people that can say, you've got this, this is what helped me, reminding you that there's life on the other side. And that's always what this card tells us. Even though the moment is really scary and change is really hard, the sunrise in that distance is there. Once we get through this tough time, things do get better. Be around people that have been willing to face the dark in order to greet the dawn. And let's look at what to give to other people. The Page of Pentacles is a card of somebody who's finding value in everything that they're doing, everything that they're learning. My advice is to not undersell yourself. You may think that you're a beginner at things right now. You may be trying to do something that you've never done before, so you may not think you have anything of value to give in terms of advice to others. But this card would suggest that's not true. Recognize the lessons that you have learned, the way that every day you're observing the world around you, making new observations and judgments, and basically developing yourself as a person, becoming more valuable to the people who love you. Share your perspective. Share what you've learned. give your advice. You can always be humble and couch it saying, this worked for me. But it's just that act of giving and sharing that could really change someone's whole perception. So don't hold yourself back. Share what you know. Hopefully it will be of value to the people you love and care about. Finally, what to be open to in order to have healthy and successful relationships this month. The Ace of Swords is a card about getting a handle on the situation. This might be a month where it's important for you to be clear on what you want your relationships to feel like. I would recommend focus on quality, not quantity. Focus on the 2 or 3 friends that really know what's going on with you, that have really been there for you in the past, or who really treasure and appreciate you right now. Don't let yourself be distracted by every social circle. Stay focused on the people that are present with you now, who have been with you, who know what's happening, and move through this month with them by your side. Maybe in the next month you'll have your own adventures to take, but for now, stay focused with them. And I think that will help you feel a sense of control in your nearby environment because you have people who are up to date on what's happening, and you guys are here to share information, share advice, and share your skills. I hope that helps. Well, one theme that we saw represented in all 3 of those readings that took me by surprise is the importance to have those deep relationships right now. An encouragement to focus on the high quality friendships that are close to you. Maybe these are friendships that have been around for a while. They could be at work, they could be in your personal life, or it could be also that relationship you have with yourself that you've been developing over the years. This could be a time to really put a highlight on the people you trust and those relationships you've been developing over the years, rather than spreading yourself thin with new acquaintances or new challenges at work or new areas of exploration for yourself personally. I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my socials to stay in touch, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading.